Buckle up, guys, because I have been waiting to upload this for not that long, but also I've been really excited to make it, and that is the Rank 2 Peni Parker showcase. I love this champion. I pulled her from my 3rd Titan Crystal ever, and for a lot of people that would be a sad thing. For me, I was extremely excited. Peni is a great champion, and I intend to show that in this like half an hour showcase. So starting with Peni's stat focus, run block proficiency for attack always, and then defense I would probably consider either physical resist, armor rating, or block proficiency, just something to make her tankier. I'm running physical resist now, but I'm not sure if it's the correct one. As far as her sig ability, you don't need it. You really don't need it for anything. The only thing it lets you do is cheese Nick Fury, meaning that's one less matchup that she can take, but at the same time, that's really all you need it for, is cheesing Nick Fury, so I wouldn't say it's essential or anything. As far as a relic, Sentinel relic, absolutely. In all of the fights, except for Winter Road Dani Moonstar, I am running a 5-star rank 2 or 3, I believe, Sentinel relic. And then after all of those fights, I decided to switch to my 6-star one, so I wish I did that earlier. But yeah, 6-star Sentinel relic is crazy for her, and I wish I ran that for my other fights. But yeah, 5-star relic, which is actually significantly less good. At the same time, she's gonna benefit a lot from that 5-star relic still. So anyway, we're gonna start off against Winter Soldier, and Winter Soldier is just going to be a 2 SP1 SP2 nuke kind of fight. This is kind of how you want to take Peni against health pools that are 400k or higher. Unless it's a mutant, then you might be able to get away with only 1 SP1. But in this case, we're going to throw 2 SP1s. The way you want to play Peni is by throwing your SP1 to ramp your charges, and you want to throw that SP1 right when they cross a bar of power so that you can power drain them below it and then push them back up to 1, because then you're going to gain the maximum amount of charges you can gain. And you want those charges to where you can nuke on the SP2, and the SP2 is going to do bursts of incinerate damage per charge, and at the end of the attack, place incinerate debuffs per charge. And that's why this Sentinel relic is so good for her, because you place an incinerate vulnerability that just increases the damage from her SP2 by an absurd amount, and the damage after the SP2 by an absurd amount from that incinerate vulnerability. And Winter Soldier is almost dead in 2 SP1s and an SP2. We just have to finish him off in 1 combo right after. And then that is going to be Realm of Legends Winter Soldier down in 1 minute and 7 seconds, which isn't that bad. Peni's damage is nothing insane, but it is really good for short fights, and she has a stacked utility kit to where even though her damage isn't insane, it's still really good, and she's just a really good champion with that damage and that utility package. So next up is RoL Legends Storm, just to see what it looks like with class advantage. We're going to do the same exact rotation, 2 SP1s into an SP2. However, all of our red numbers are going to be a lot more because of the class advantage, obviously, because, you know, class advantage is really good, especially for Peni, where all of her attacks will benefit from the maximum of class advantage because she doesn't increase her own attack rating in any way. And, you know, red numbers and class advantage just go hand in hand. So in this scenario, we are going to be dealing a lot more damage with the SP2, and we throw it off. Captain Marvel. Storm goes from 70% to 31% in just the SP2, and then just look at those incinerates that had like still a third of their duration left, not even finished ticking. So 50-second Storm kill, pretty good. And now we're going to start the Battlegrounds fights, and we're going to start against Chavez. And Chavez is a fun matchup for Peni, not really for anything incredibly specific, but I feel like Chavez is just a good general. This is a hard defender if you don't know what you're doing, but also you can take her with anyone kind of matchup. And in Peni's scenario, you can take Chavez just as well as you can take anyone. So take Chavez with anyone, I mean. And so we're going to do 1 SP1, because in Battlegrounds fights, usually 1 SP1 is all you need, except for a couple other examples, which we're going to get into later. And so we have 10 of our charges now, and we are going to be removing the crit node with Dex, just like that, so that's nice. Sometimes we want to actually dex to trigger MD to push her to more bars of power. Sometimes we don't, just to keep the power under control. Either way, this Chavez is just going to die from those incinerates. So 1 SP1, 1 SP2, and dead, with a lot of duration on those incinerates still left. 49-second Chavez kill without a science champ is not too bad. So next up is Domino, and as far as like the new tech champions released, Peni's one of the worst at countering Domino, and she still does a really good job. Like, she can still get crit failed in many different ways, or not many different ways, but still can get crit failed. Whether it be a parry stun, whether it be the power lock on her block, whether it be some hits on the SP2. But at the same time, you know, 7-star Dominos usually don't have crazy SIGs, so even if you get crit failed a little bit, it's better than just getting crit failed all the time, because she's not going to get crit failed all the time, she just will get crit failed a bit. And I did not mean to block that, so I just got my sync shield destroyed because of the crit node, which is unfortunate. And we also threw our relic into her evade because we're smart. But either way, we bait her SP2, and now I just want to go for my SP2 just like this. And we don't have the incinerate vulnerability from the relic, which is a shame. And we did get a little bit of the SP2 burst to fail because of her crit fail, but that's okay, because we're going to go for this incinerates just to finish her off, and she dies in 59 seconds with a pretty good health pool still to finish it off with. So, alright, next up, we are going to be fighting Storm Pyramid X. And Storm is a very annoying defender if you do not have a good tech champion, and luckily Peni is a good tech champion, so you don't have to worry about that. But anyway, Peni completely removed her Tempest just by blocking, which is pretty crazy, because obviously, I'm going to be entirely honest, the most annoying thing about Pyramid X is her glancing, because it just makes her so tanky, and that's why she's hard to fight without a tech champion where you don't have power control options. But at the same time, since she doesn't have that tankiness, you know, she's going to die really fast. And also at the same time, we can block the SP2 and not take any damage, even though we dexed out of most of it, which is pretty cool. So we throw this SP2 here, completely destroys our health pool. And yeah, that's Pyramid X in 49 seconds, which is pretty decent. And next up, we're going to be fighting Red Skull. This is a rank 5 ascended Red Skull, and Red Skull does have energy resistance, but he is a very hard defender. So what we're going to be doing in this fight is double SP1ing into an SP2, and that's just going to make sure we have the maximum SP2 damage. And we're going to finish this fight with a very high amount of health, because Peni's sync shield mechanic, allowing me to take a bunch of free block hits, is just really good. And you're going to see me try to dex to get rid of the node, but dexing Red Skull's medium is just really difficult for no reason whatsoever. Anyway, we're going to go for the first SP1 here. We get our first 9 charges, and I want to bait his SP1, and he's going to throw it in just a second. He throws it right there. We're going to throw a heavy attack just to buy some time. Now I want to block a little bit and start building up to my next SP1. I want to bait his first, go for another heavy attack, and then start pushing him to his next SP1. And we're going to power drain him, and then go for our SP1, which is going to place a power burn too. Because if you throw Peni's SP1 when she has 10 charges on activation, then she is going to place a power burn, which is really nice. It does help power control a little bit, and is really nice in this matchup. So now at this point, we just want to build to the SP2, and then he's going to die. So we're going to throw this, and it's going to do a lot of burst damage. We get the incinerates, and now I'm just kind of chilling at the end. I don't want him to throw that SP2 if I can help it. And yeah, that's a really, really clean Red Skull fight. It took 80 seconds because double SP1 rotation isn't the fastest, but it also kills basically everything. So pretty decent score. Even 80 seconds really isn't that bad when you can't control Red Skull's armor and you're not using a Cosmic Champion. So I'm not too mad about how that score went. So next up is Sauron. Sauron is a very annoying defender if you can't kill him fast, just because he has a bunch of different ways to screw you over, whether it's unblockable specials, unblockable dash attack, a lot of unblockable. So anyway, we're just going to try to control him as best as we can. And I have my charges ramped out, so now I just need to throw my SP2 with the relic decks his special ones before that, and we're kind of chilling at this point. We are going to throw the Relic and then throw the SP2, and it does a lot of damage. We get the Incinerates, and they're going to do so much overkill. Full Yellow Bard, that's Sauron in 47 seconds. So, very clean Sauron fight, pretty decently speedy Sauron fight. And next up is Nick Fury, and I remember talking about how Peni's Sig ability opens up the matchup of Nick Fury earlier in the video, and my Peni does not have Sigs, because obviously she's unduped. That was a weird way to word that sentence, but you know what I mean. And that just means that this fight's going to be a lot more difficult. Of course, Nick throws an unblockable SP1 when I'm holding block, because his AI absolutely sucks. But that's okay. We're going to throw my SP1, and we have our charges ramped, so now I just need to go for an SP2. And then we're gonna be chilling at this point. We push him to his SP2. I'm just gonna dex that really fast, and he's not wanting to throw it because his AI still sucks. That's okay. We're gonna throw the SP2 here. The Incinerate vulnerability is starting to fall off just because he took so long to do anything, but it's not like it was that big a deal because we're still gonna do enough damage. He throws another SP1, and at this point, if we were duped, he would be dead, because the heal block would catch his second life as soon as he triggers it. And I'm going to show a clip of what a duped Peni can take Nick Fury, or how a duped Peni can take Nick Fury right here. And this is an old video of mine with a rank 4 Peni Parker. Lovely SP1 eating. For some reason, I always eat SP1s from Nick when I'm playing Peni. But yeah, you saw his second life get deleted like that, so now we just need to try to kill him in his second life, which is really annoying because we couldn't just cheese it. At the same time, I figured it'd be worth showing the end of the fight, so we're gonna get to our SP2. I probably shouldn't have thrown I should have thrown an SP1 along the way, but it's okay. We're gonna throw this SP2 here, and we lose our Counter-Strike charges. That's fine, though. I think I'm gonna go for a Ricochet right there. Peni's Ricochet intercept is really good, and I love characters with really good Ricochet intercepts, because they just make getting openings so smooth, and Peni's light attack and her medium attack just make Ricochet intercepting really easy. So 100-second Nick fight, if your Peni's duped, it's 50 seconds, so I only showed that fight just to tell you what the Sig ability can do, and yeah, it's a really good Sig ability if you can get access to it, by either if you're running a 6-star Peni Parker, or if you were lucky enough to dupe your Peni, or pull your Peni twice, I should say. So, this fight is against Gauntlet Dr. Doom. You saw me go stun immune there. That's because I was running the Falcon synergy, which lets me be stun immune when the Sync Shield is active, which is pretty cool. Very random synergy, but very cool synergy. So, this is Gauntlet Dr. Doom, and basically if you don't know how this fight works, he's got Size Matters, which is a node that gives him the ability to glance me, and he has more ways to glance me the smaller the character is, but Peni is an XL character, meaning I don't have to worry about that. I'm also eating an SP1 from Doom because I'm bad. That's okay. At this point, we're just kind of trying to get our openings, get to my SP2, and I'm also Incinerate immune, so if I mess up on Doom's SP2 decks, which does happen with me, it's not that big a deal. We're going to take the damage, but at least we don't take the massive Incinerates at the end. So, got a nice intercept there, and I'm building to my SP2, and I need him to throw his first. He throws it. We're going to get the Dex. No, we're not. I lied. That's okay, though. We're going to go for the never mind, we're not going for the Relic. This was like the first rank 2 Peni fight I recorded, ironically. So I don't even know what the heck I'm doing at some moments in this fight, but that's okay. I should know. I've been playing Peni for so long. Either way, we're going to go for another double SP1 rotation in just a second. I'm just throwing random light attacks trying to get my openings. It's so funny. We go for the Relic here, and now we're going to go for an SP1, power drain him, gain our charges. We now have 11 of them. Dex his SP2, went for a light attack to see if he would dash into me, but he threw the SP2 instead. Doesn't really matter. Here I got my intercept, and I'm actually going to push him to another SP2, power drain him from there instead, and we go for it right there, get the power drain, and he's going to throw his SP2, or maybe not, never mind, I get the light attack, which is really cool. He throws his SP2 there. We're going to go for a relic into an SP2, and then he's going to die, I assume. Get the Incinerate vulnerability active, and then throw the SP2, 20 charges with 15k per burst, and 21 incinerates, 11k per tick. Eat the SP2, doesn't matter, he's dead. Very sloppy fight. Very good fight, though. So, that was 2 minutes and 24 seconds, definitely respectable. Fighting Doom with tech champions is kind of weird sometimes, but Peni does a really good job, so I'll take it. Next up is Winner of Woe, Dani Moonstar. If you want to see Peni for a more longer fight, like Winner of Woe health pool style fights, this is what it is. Nothing really specific about Peni's kit for this fight, because you can fight this Dani Moonstar with literally anyone if you know how to sidestep intercept. And that's kind of what I'm going to be doing here. That's a sidestep intercept. You bait their medium attack, you throw a light attack. It doesn't work for every character, because firstly, you have to have the opponent's medium be long enough, like Dani's is. Secondly, you have to have your champion's light attack a decent range, which Peni's is a decent range. It's not crazy, but yeah, she definitely has the range to do it. So we're just going to do a bunch of double SP1 into SP2 rotations here, and we're going to go for the relic here just so I can push her to 3 bars, which actually didn't even matter because we can't push her to another special attack because of the power focus node. So we didn't get our maximum charges, kind of sucks, but it's whatever, it doesn't really matter. Am I going to go for another SP1 before my SP2? I'm not really sure. We're going to find out together. I recorded this literally 20 minutes ago, I should know. This is the fight with the 6-star relic, by the way, just in case you wanted to know. So we go for the SP2 there with 17 of our charges, so decent incinerate damage. And yeah, we're going to go for another side. No, we're not. We're baiting a special attack. She throws the SP2, we dex it, and now we want to re-ramp. She's at 61%, and I'm like, okay, so one double SP1 rotation and one single SP1 rotation will finish her off from here. Or maybe I can get lucky and a double SP1 rotation finishes her off. Either way, we're going to go for an SP1 here, and we get 11 charges. The power draining in this fight is really weird, just because the power focus 1 makes it to where you have to rethink the math behind your SP1s. And here I'm like, okay, can I push her to her SP1 before I hit my SP2? We're going to find out. I'm going to use the relic actually to get there, which I didn't want to because I'm losing my incinerate vulnerability window. But at the same time, it definitely helps to where I can get my second SP1. So in the long run, it's worth it. I just wish I had the relic. So we want to get one more sidestep intercept, then we're going to be going for a 20 charge SP2. Which is going to do decent damage. Obviously, it would be doing more if I had the Incinerate vulnerability. But that's okay. The Incinerates are ticking really nicely. 13k per tick, 26k per second. And now I can just SP1, SP2 her on the way out. And we throw the SP1 there, have our charges, and we just need to bait her SP2. I got hit there, and now I lost a bunch of charges. So now I'm like, oh, maybe I need another SP1. So let's see what I do here, because I don't remember how the fight ends. I remember it being a little wacky, but at the same time, we bait her SP2, we dex it, and now I'm going to not relic into SP2. I got caught in a dashback once again, so now we lost more charges, and I'm like, well, I guess I need to do another SP1. Love getting caught on dashbacks. So anyway, we just need to get to an SP2 and she dies. Been saying that for like the past minute now. Dash in, Dani. There we go. Got the sidestep. And we're going to go for another sidestep right there. And we relic into the SP2 and she's going to die with the incinerates right after. We have the incinerate vulnerability up. So 10 of our charges, 10k per hit, 7k per tick. Very nicely done. That is Winter of Woe Dani Moonstar soloed by Peni. In a decent amount of time. I don't really know what an ideal amount of time is. Not hitting any speedrun records, but still pretty decent. So, okay, now we're going to be taking Alliance War fights. And I took a lot of off-season Alliance War fights with Peni, which is pretty cool, from a bunch of different nodes. And I'm actually really impressed with how she performs for some war stuff. So, we're going to start with this rank 5 Ascended Dust on Path 4. Dust is scary on Path 4 just because she's placing debuffs all the time, meaning she's going to be gaining Furies and or going unblockable all the time, depending on which section she's placed in. She's placed in Section 1 in this one, which is kind of weird. I'd expect her to be placed in Section 2 a bit more, but at the same time, if you know how to fight Dust, doesn't really matter on this node, because you're not getting hit, you're not triggering her Sandstorm if you know how to fight her, so this Dust did place with the recoil masteries, doesn't really matter because we're going to be overkilling her anyway. We just want to get to our SP2, then we're going to relic into it, and I want to be avoiding weakness at all costs before throwing the SP2. So we go for the relic here, and I'm actually going to wait for the weakness to fall off, which maybe I didn't need to do, but at the same time, who cares? Throw the SP2, does plenty of damage. Even if she didn't have recoil, she's going to die, because look at the amount of duration we had on those incinerates left. So that's a node 13 Dust completely destroyed. Next, Hazard Shift Kindred on node 44. Speeding this fight up because Kindred is Incinerate immune, meaning I can't do a regular rotation. But this fight's insane because this fight lasts 3 minutes and I did not trigger a Night Rare Outbreak once. And that's just because she's really slow for this fight, but absolutely destroys it anyway. The reason for that is she's double immune, so you don't ever have to worry about Hazard Shift. And Kindred also has a clause in his kit that means that when you pause the outbreak, or the charges, I mean, from countering his special attacks, that pause is increased by 6 seconds if you are a Spider-Verse hero. Meaning we just have so much pause duration, we'd like never have to worry about outbreak. And even though the fight lasts forever, she's just so good for it. And in the future, there is a synergy with Infamous Iron Man that Peni has. That means that if the opponent is Incinerate immune, I place shock damage instead. That means instant shocks on the SP2 hits, shock debuffs on the SP2 at the end of it. And yeah, so just look at this, man. He's still at 35 charges from the very start of the fight, and we're going to be going for an SP3. I'm going to save it to when the root triggers, and then he's going to die. So we're going to counter his SP1, just continue doing that, and we're just going to continue to chop him down with basic attacks. And I lied, I did trigger Outbreak right there, but we break out the root anyway, so it doesn't matter, and we're going to be finishing this Kindred with 91% health. 3-minute fight, 91% health against Kindred. That's honestly insane, if you ask me. And that's just because she could control the fight so well, and it's a very slow fight because you can't incinerate Kindred, but who cares, because it was super safe. So next up, back to Path 9, or not back to Path 9, but this has the same Hazard Shift nodes. This is against a Void, and I am running the Infamous Iron Man synergy for this one, meaning even though Void is Incinerate immune, who cares, because we're going to be placing shocks, so it's a win-win. So we are going to be SP1 into SP2ing this guy, and that's all the charges we actually need. This Void is literally a potato. The only thing I have to worry about is Intimidating Presence. He is going to be throwing special attacks quite often, and my phone is going to be lagging a bit in this fight, just because. Who cares? We just bait his SP2, and then I'm going to Relic into my SP2, or something along those lines. And we throw the Relic. No, we don't go for the Relic. Why did I not go for the Relic, man? Okay. Well, there's our shocks. So anyway, we're not gaining extra Relic benefits. Okay, well, yeah, alright then. So actually, the Relic didn't matter because I was placing shocks. Never mind, that's why I didn't go for the Relic. Now I know. Okay. Now we have Knull on node 18. Would I suggest this fight? No. Does it work? Yeah, apparently it works. So we're going to be taking this fight with Peni, obviously, and this is the Hazard Shift, Incinerate, and Poison once again. So I am being wary of my blocks, or at least I should be wary of my blocks, just because of how Knull works with Insult to Injury, because he places Living Abyss, and you're kind of just stuck with it. I believe I am going to trigger an auto block just because I'm bad, but that's okay. And he's going to be gaining Indestructible a lot, and we are going to have to be annoyed with his Darkness debuffs a lot, or Darkness passives a lot, because those suck in this fight, because Peni has so many hits on her special attacks. But also, we're going to solo the fight anyway, so who cares? So we're going to Dex this idiot's heavy attack, and make sure he only throws SP2, or at least try to do that. So we're going to bait his SP2, and I'm going for another SP1 for some reason, because I felt like doing that. And now I'm going to power burn him, and he throws an SP1 into my block, because AI is so good. Either way, we're gonna get to an SP2, and then he's gonna be close to almost dead, so it doesn't really matter. I should not have thrown a second SP1. I completely forgot about the darkness debuffs, making it to where that wouldn't matter. That was an accidental relic. I was trying to dash back. He throws another SP1 because that's great. So this fight is completely crazy, and we're inverted controls now. Luckily, I knew what I was doing enough to where it's okay. But I'm gonna time. I was gonna try to time my SP2 with the corrupted, but he didn't feel like dashing in at me. So yeah, we are just kind of getting our block hammered, but we do have the incinerate active, so hopefully he dies with them, and he does. So yeah, Peni on section 1 path 9 destroys everything apparently, even Knull, so that's cool. Another hazard shift node. This is against a tactic champion, and you're gonna see I died to this once because I was stupid, but we're gonna go back in with 40% health. The Sersi still has 87% health. And this is Sersi, who has Magic Thief, meaning I have to deal with Indestructible if I dex. So we're going to try to avoid dexing. That's what I decided to do. Anyway, yeah, we're going to SP1. I don't know if I double SP1 in this fight. She's indestructible now, so I need to go for a parry. I went for a nice light intercept there, so... anyway, we get the parry. The stun immunity helps in this fight, so I can reparry. Anyway, am I gonna block this SP2? I am, and I'm actually gonna eat it because I'm smart, and I thought I could do something interesting, and I clearly couldn't. But either way, should I be taking this fight whatsoever? Probably not, but it's off-season, so I was like, what the heck, why not? And it ended up going pretty well, even though I died the first time. I figured it was still worth showing because she had 87% health left. We got rid of that indestructible. We're going to go for a relic. Never mind, we're going for an SP2 immediately. 16 charges. Incinerate's ticking now. We're going to block this SP2. Doesn't do too much damage, and she's going to go indestructible again. We get rid of it like that. Glancing is up. That's okay. We just wait for the glancing to fall off. And I am going to dex the special. I was like, you know what? I can reparry. Who cares if she gains indestructibles, because I can get rid of them really fast. So... there we go, just like that. The fight is just about over. We throw the SP2 here, and she is almost dead. I need to get rid of another indestructible. And if I was boosted, this fight is so much easier. But it's off-season, so why would I boost, you know? Alright, that is Sersi on node 44. Last up is a Scorpion War Boss, which... you're never seeing Scorpion War Bosses in season, let's be honest, but also this was kind of cool, and I was like, hey, I probably can Peni this, so I'm gonna give it my best shot. And I found out that the energy resist buffs from that, whatever that node is, adaptive I think it's called, are annoying, but who cares? If he evades and counterattacks, we have our auto block, so it's not too bad. Like there, we got the auto block, so really safe for that scenario. We throw the SP2 here. It's going to do a decent amount of damage, but also the energy vulnerability debuffs, or energy resistance buffs, I mean. That's completely the opposite of what I meant to say. What am I doing? He evaded my special, but that's okay. We dexed SP1. I speeded this up because it's like a 3-minute fight. There's not much to talk about. We're just doing Peni things. I also ate a lot of damage there because... Opportunist hurts, but that's okay because I decided I wasn't gonna die, so we didn't. We go for another SP1 here, and I'm like, okay, I can kill him, and my auto block catches any evades, so we're kind of just chilling. Dex the SP1, and he has Scorpion Sense once again. Who cares? I throw the SP1 and SP2 into the block because actually special intercepting with Peni is hard for some reason. Apparently her SP2 just has a long delay when you activate it to the first hit, just because, so it's really hard to special intercept with Peni, but also who cares, I won the fight. So anyway, that is the rank 2 Peni showcase. I really hope you enjoyed watching. There were so many comments asking for me to do Peni over Kushala, and I wanted to, but you know, Kushala won the poll. I had to let Kushala have it, so the Peni showcase didn't come out too much later because I really wanted to make this, and I really hope you enjoyed watching the video. If you made it this far, hit the like, hit the subscribe button. YouTube thinks I'm obligated to tell you if you feel like it. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. 30-minute video, let's go. I'll see you in the next one.